Bobbie. Yeah, did you get the message?
Yeah, somebody wanted to see me.
Somebody?
That was the message.
Yeah, well, it lost a little in translation. Jake Myers is over there.
Thanks. Hi.
Hi. All finished up?
For a while. Have you been waiting long?
No, it's okay. I didn't have an appointment.
Oh, well, what's your medical complaint, sir?
These magazines, for one thing.
Oh, we have a suggestion box in the corner, so you can write that down if you want.
No. I have more important things to deal with right now. I want to run something by you.
What?
A real estate proposition.
Mm-hmm.
It's a piece of property in foreclosure on Elm Street.
It's my old neighborhood.
Do you have any idea what's happening down there right now?
It's being rediscovered.
That's right. People are moving back, taking pride in their properties. They're doing wonderful things.
And since I used to live there, you want my advice?
No. I want your interest. How would you like to own a piece of the old neighborhood?
What?
Go half partners with me in a building, 50-50.
Well, the 50-50 sounds real good. What do you suggest I use for money to buy my way into this piece of nostalgia?
I've got this all figured out, or at least most of it anyway.
I know. I become a vegetarian like you, and the money that I save on steak and burgers I put into the building.
Not quite.
The only thing is we can't forget about the money I have to come up for the
Are you ready to hear my scenario? Thank you. First of all, this property is filled with space, which is what's going to make it feasible as an investment.
You mean like absentee landlord?
No, not at all. This is my proposition. I'm going to take an office down on the first floor, which just happens to have an apartment in the back, which is where I'll live.
Home and office together?
That's right. It's the way it used to be in the old days. Made going to doctors and dentists and lawyers a lot less forbidding. But let's move on. There's so much possibility with this property, you can't believe it.
How do I fit into this, Jake?
Take some of the space upstairs. It would make a great apartment, Bobbie. That is, if you could see your way to sell the cottage and move to Elm Street.
You're saying I would own half of this building?
Half. And anything we decide to do with that extra space, that means extra income, which is what you'll get half of as well. What do you think?
No, I'm still absorbing it.
I'm rushing you.
No, I like it.
Do you think you could sell the cottage? It would mean a whole different lifestyle for you.
In a way, I'd be going back to my roots. Maybe it's time for me to do that.
Yeah, maybe it's time for me, too.
You're not a waterfront kid.
Yeah, I'll be going back to a dream I once had.
What dream?
I was going to be a storefront lawyer. You know, those fancy trappings, minimal overhead. Be able to help people that really needed it.
You'd be changing your whole practice.
Yeah, it's exactly what I need to do right now. It just rankles me, it always has, that the people who need help the most are the ones that can't afford it. That's why this piece of property is perfect for me.
It's exciting, Jake. And I've never done anything like this on my
It'll
own.
be a stake in your future, Bobbie. I wouldn't tell you about this if the neighborhood was stagnating, but it isn't. It's moving. People are moving in. New people are moving in. They're upgrading. They're renovating. It's exciting.
Okay, well, I guess I could go and see it.
A very good idea. I mean, after all, I wouldn't want the headlines to read the next day. Lawyer gets sued by client because he invested her money in a building she never saw.
You know something?
What?
You're turning my whole life around.
Oh. What about Terry? You still want to move in with her, right? You want to live together.
I'm all she's got. Except for her grandmother in Maryland, but I don't think the lady has the least bit of interest in what her granddaughter does.
You think she'd go for the idea of living on Elm Street?
I think there was a time when she would have turned her nose up at the idea. But she's changed a lot, Jake. She's becoming responsible. She's trying very hard to get a job, and she wants to contribute to the household.
I could use some secretarial help. Part-time, at least.
Jerry?
Why not? You think she'd like the idea?
You think she could handle it?
Sure, why not? She's motivated, she's intelligent, I'll train her.
Could
Come on,
be.
let's walk and talk.
Okay, could be.
I'm very excited about this. Could you tell I'm excited about this? I'm discouraged by this tonight.
No, it's just the first session.
Jessie?
And I think what she's afraid to do is try to talk. That's all.
So it's more than the stroke that's affecting her voice?
Yeah, it's a whole syndrome. The stroke, the heart attack, and then there's a fear of exerting any sort of effort in case that they would relapse.
I'll tell you what, I will give her a little pep talk on the subject tomorrow if you think it'll help.
Oh, it'll carry a great deal of weight. The doctor himself talking is going to be very important to her.
Pep talk's one of my specialties.
So who gives the doctor his pep talk when he needs it?
Doctors don't. Me.
Oh.
Well, time to time, occasionally.
That's what Tony said. Why should doctors have to be trained to be so almighty strong all the time?
It's very wise for a doctor so young in his practice. Oh.
Do you mind if I say something?
No, please go right ahead.
I know what you've been through, and I know how terrible it's been for you. But I do want you to know that I hope everything gets back to normal.
Tania, I wish for the very same thing. There are just no guarantees as to win.
Yeah, I guess not. But I wish you the best anyway.
Thank you. We're trying to make it work for Mike. It's a big upheaval. I don't have to tell you just how rocky it's been for Mike.
Yeah, and for kids, stability is such an important thing. Or at least some sort of consistency.
Like a family life, moving smoothly.
Yeah, that's important, but it's more than that. There's got to be a consistent set of rules, or at least some sort of discipline. Discipline's great when the kid knows at least when to expect it.
You don't believe in permissive upbringing?
Well, I don't think parents should be too rigid, but there have to be a set of rules to form a boundary so that there's some sort of security for a child.
You've done a lot of thinking on this subject, haven't you?
Yeah, I guess I have, and some reading, too. You've got to go on not only your own instincts, but it doesn't hurt to have the experience of other people, too.
I am very, very impressed.
Why?
You just got married, and you are an expert already.
No, I'm not an expert.
I'm teasing.
Oh, yeah, I guess I deserve that.
Everything you've said makes a good deal of sense.
Well, I hope so, because I've got to become an expert real fast.
Why?
Tony and I are going to have a baby.
Why didn't you tell me that? That's fantastic. I can't think of two people that... Oh, Tania, that's great. I'm very happy for both of you.
Thank you.
You have a name picked out.
Oh, no, we haven't even started to think about names yet.
Well, be very careful on that part, because I understand that's where the big fights begin.
Oh,